Hello, viewers. It's Essential Michael from School Reviews, bring you a new podcast for my segment called the Super Sentai Review. And like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly in case you don't understand me. Also, I try to do my best not to preach too hard during this audio podcast recording as well, not to cause any audio feedback as well. And also, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will change your adult language. Once again, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will change your adult language if you're under 18. Now, if you're over 18, that needs to go throughout this audio podcast recorded. Now, let's get into the latest episode of Gozyuger. So basically, we see that the cafe, we see that the cafe that house landlady owned is back, is restored. So basically, it turns out that somehow. mm, Now, when the word got rewritten by the birth of Good Burn or Take a Knuckle, the cafe got erased, but somehow somehow they must have probably used Tegasord's power to restore the cafe and whatnot that was owned by Howard's landlady. So basically, the cafe is back. So basically, I figured they must have asked the Texas to use his powers to restore the cafe that Howard's landlady owned and whatnot. So anyway, so basically, turns out that Kinjin and Son Ino have got a new Sentai ring. So basically, Kinjin has the Kiramager Sentai ring, and some and Son Ino has the go on the ring, and they put it in their ring case and whatnot. So basically, it turns out that the Tegaso must have gave it to him and whatnot. So anyway, we see the landlady's son, leaving all sad and whatnot, and how tried to cheer him up in his usual thing, but it didn't work. So basically, the land they told him that 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 it's going to be sports day at his school very soon, and basically he's kind of down because he's not the fastest kid in his class and whatnot. So basically, that's the reason why the landlady's son, is in a sad mood because it's going to be sports day at his school very soon, and basically he's not the fastest kid in his class. So basically, and whatnot. So basically, we see the landlady's son, in the park somewhere, looking at somewhere near the track field, looking at people running and whatnot, being on down, and that's when Machino and Kumar Bear showed up, and basically what's wrong, what's with the sad face and whatnot. Machino was asking why you so sad and whatnot. So basically, the landlady's son explained that about sports day coming up soon. He's saying that he's got the fastest kid in his class. So basically, he felt like he felt like he's going to be laughed at because he's not the fastest kid in his class and whatnot, etc. etc. So basically, Messenger was trying to cheer him up and give him some words to encourage it. Out of nowhere, we see the sports monster showed up and basically told him that so basically we're gonna have ourselves a little sports day. You go over and your little friend too, and the rest of the go over. So basically he turned the whole he turned the whole area into a big sports field, and basically the rest of the go overs were showed up, gave to the sports monster's power and whatnot. So basically the sports monsters think that we're gonna have some events. Basically, we're gonna have free events. We're gonna have free sporting events. So basically, the first one is to toss the first game was to toss the beanbag into a net on top of a hoop into a net. this pole with a net on top. So basically, whoever team that tossed the most, the most beanbag into the net wins. So basically, like the landlady son said that I'm not gonna participate this. You got this is your problem. So basically, the landlady's son is like, this is a ranger situation. So don't get me involved in this. Mm, so anyway, seems like everything was going okay until the foot soldiers and the sports monsters start to shoot at the Rangers while they were trying to toss their beanbags into the net on top of the pole. So basically, the referee, who is an area foot soldier, was not paying attention for his comrades cheating against the goalers, and that's when since they're gonna cheat, want to let us cheat, and basically he's having a good burn, and basically use good burn to bring the pole down to the ground, and basically made it easier to win try make it easier to put all the beanbag or the team beanbag into the net, but the Aries said that you guys cheated, so therefore you guys didn't win this event. So basically, he gave it to the sport monster. So basically, the Aries foot surgery referee gave it to the sport monster and the foot surgeons in that beanbag toss. Anyway, the second event was a three-legged man race. So basically, Riku and Hao was racing for the team, while the rest of the Rangers and the landlady's son was having a gourmet meal, gave from Masachino. So basically, while Hao and Riku were racing against the monster and the foot soldiers, Matt and Cinna explained that the Rangers started to ask Matt and Cinna some questions like, "How old are you?" And he said, "I'm 20." So basically, I'm 26, but I've been frozen. After the battle. After the Sentai War, I've been frozen in stone for like 10,000 years. So basically, once Goodburn was born, the good Knuckles appeared and set me free from my stone prison. So basically, it turns out that after the war, after the Sentai Wars, he you know, Master should have got frozen in stone, kind of like the same thing that happened to the Tegasort and whatnot. So basically, after that, he swore to be a better god than he. So basically, after that, he swore to be a better god than basically once he got the Teka Knuckle and the poloing, he made a wish to become a powerful god. Then he wants to be a powerful god better than the Tegazord, because it seems like Mashing Shadow brings the Tegazord for him being frozen in stone for 10,000 years after the Sentai War. So basically, Riku and Hao morphed up and basically won the relay, but the referee once again screwed them over, and basically and gave it to the monster and the foot soldiers, winning that relay race and whatnot. So basically, the final bit was chicken fight. So basically, chicken fight is you get three people to carry one person, and basically up their shoulders, and therefore whoever takes that person, or whoever takes that person with it, or that person who's being carried up, wins the chicken fight. So so basically, the last group standing, who wins the fight. Whoever takes that person headband wins the chicken fight. So basically, Mash and Cinna decided to choose the landlady's son, and basically and use this opportunity to give once again to give him the courage and the courage and opportunity to face his fears about sports day that is coming up at his school and whatnot. So basically, they managed to take down one of the foot soldiers, and the rest of the Rangers helped out. And basically, that's when Kenji used the Kiramager Sentai Ring to make copies of his Ranger form, and he transformed into Kirame Red as well. And basically, the Rangers working together managed to defeat the sports monster, and therefore, and also with a little bribe from Machino, they end up in that event, and basically, that's when enough of this enough of this sports guy was enough, and basically and that's when goes to polo. We decided like this is okay, enough fun and games. Let's get serious. And basically, he destroyed. So basically, turns out the sports monster had a kid inside his body. So basically, once Master Shino destroyed managed to free the kid from the sports monster, and basically he asked the landlady's son to take the kid to a safe distance and whatnot. So basically, so basically bouquet so basically so basically like turns out that bouquet was sent to deal with the rangers and whatnot in her mecha, and basically that sports that sports referee dude foot soldier had his own mecha as well. So basically turns out that Queen U needs more Centauri. So basically to basically, and plus she want her son back as well. So anyway, Bouquet showed up in her makeup, and basically and the referee foot soldier showed up in his makeup, and basically so basically so basically some stupid relay race happened between the mechas, between Goodburn and Bouquet's mecha and whatnot. So basically, Bouquet's mecha ended up losing the race and and she felt so humiliated, and she just laughed and let the foot soldier deal with Goodburn, and Goodburn with Goodburn and Polar, and go to Polar managed to destroy the mecha that was piloted by the referee Sport Joker, and therefore, and therefore win the mecha battle. And as for the boy that was that was that was a vessel for the sports monster. He came too, and basically the boy was saying that I was practicing for sports. I was trying to practice running for sports day that was coming out in my school and whatnot. So basically, that's all I remember. And for that monster, it took until I got brought up by that sports monster. So basically, the landlady's son is like, landlady's son, the landlady's house, landlady's son, they're like, gank the Rangers, gank Mashing Polo for helping him overcome his fears for his sports day, and him and the boy that was absorbed by the sports monster was basically decided to practice running for their upcoming sports day at the school and whatnot. As for as usual, we see Kuma Bear trying to get the Rangers a receipt for the help, but Machino was like, no, from now on, we won't be charging anybody for our service. We will help people for free. And basically, Kumar was not happy. Was not happy about this. So basically, like the Rangers were like, like there was kind of relief that that Machino won't, they won't get any more. any more, any more invoices from Kuma Bear for Machino helping them and whatnot. And basically, that's how the episode ended on this note. So anyway, this was a good episode. So anyway, we got to figure out some more. So basically, we got some more. We got some more details about Machino. That we got some more details about Machino and whatnot, and basically etc. etc. So anyway, this was a good episode. Go user. What do you guys think about this? Good, bad, or just nah? Please let me know with this. Please let me know with the comments below. Anyway, sign off from Screen Reviews. One.